The leader of the Conservative Party in Canada, Pierre Poilievre, gave a masterclass on how to handle left-wing journalists recently. Now, the video went viral for good reason, and he eats an apple while he's doing it. Now, if you ever have to deal with the mainstream media, check out this clip. So Pierre Poilievre, I think I'll just call him Pierre just to make sure I'm pronouncing that right, is the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. He's currently leading the polls to be the next Canadian Prime Minister. Yes, to hopefully replace the awful Justin Trudeau. And Pierre was eating his fruit, standing outdoors when a Vancouver-based reporter, Don Urquhart, interviewed him. Now, in the video, Urquhart asks Pierre about his populist approach. But each time he tries to get a foothold on the question, Pierre sails in with a cross-check. What do certain things mean? You know, who says I'm taking a page out of Donald Trump's book, and which page anyway? And he does all of this while eating an apple, which suggests an extra level of contempt for the person he's talking to. And once he puts the reporter on the back foot, he gets a simple question, probably the one the interviewer should have started with, and Pierre gives a perfect answer. So have a watch of this short interview. Now note how every time the interviewer asks a question with a loaded term like populist or emotional levels or ideological language, right wing, Donald Trump, a lot of people, page out of Donald Trump, make a play, then Pierre immediately asks the interviewer to define it. And the interviewer gets in all sorts of trouble. Let's have a watch.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean,
What do you mean by that?
certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, you know, this and that, right wing, you know, I mean, it's that type of ideological thing.
I never really talk about left
But
or right.
anyways, a lot
I
of
don't
people
really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
Like who?
I don't know who, but
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
you must know somebody.
okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given, you know, not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
What are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a, you know, it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not
just
sure.
wondering.
I don't know what your question
Okay,
is.
then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense.
Okay.
Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government. You know, the guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I'm the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck.
You see what he does there? Whenever the interviewer doesn't just ask a simple question, but basically labels Pierre with loaded terms and puts in his own opinion during the question, Pierre simply asks him to define the words in the question, define the terms. Now here's the lesson. Never accept the labels that people put on you, unless they're true, of course, and then you can affirm them. But if you're in a media interview, listen carefully to the question. And if there's a loaded term, immediately ask for a definition. What do you mean by turf? What does that mean? What do you mean by bigoted? What does fundamentalist mean? Define disinformation. Define right wing. How do you define extremism? Define transphobic. They generally don't know. They're simply trying to load a perception of you or on you for the benefit of their audience. Now, according to media reports, following the interview, Don Urquhart, the interviewer, wrote up his experience with Pierre and said that Poilievre, I always struggle with that surname, Poilievre became acerbic when he asked him questions about his Trumpian populist playbook. Yeah, well, that's correct. Have a look at the article that Urquhart wrote. The interviewer that you just watched wrote this. When asked why Canadians should trust him with their votes given his demonstrable track record of flip-flopping on key issues and what some consider his use of polarizing, ideologically infused rhetoric, suggesting he simply takes pages out of the Donald Trump populist playbook, Poilievre became acerbic. Ultimately, the answer was common sense. There's a lot of loaded introduction into that simple answer from Poilievre, isn't there? Now, currently, most opinion polls show Justin Trudeau significantly trailing Poilievre. Last month, the Conservatives led the Liberals 39 to 30%, according to a poll, and apparently 60% of Canadians want Trudeau to step down to allow Liberal Party members to pick a new leader. And meanwhile, Poilievre is building his own narrative with TV ads portraying him as a family man. Well, aside from the excellent media training this politician gives for dealing with left-wing woke media, he deserves a medal because anyone who may remove Trudeau from his position deserves all the encouragement we can give him. And on a family platform, even better. But there is your media training for the day. In fact, next time you watch the news, if you can bear it, or watch a political interview, listen for the loaded terms in the questions. You'll be surprised just how many are there that you were never aware of until today.